Well, welcome everybody. We've got both Mary Ellens in our attendance, so that's great. We've got a couple of new faces. Welcome to everybody. I'm Iris. I think most of you know that, and I work here at the Cashmere Goat. And since we started our knit-alongs, we decided we wanted to try to include what we fondly refer to as our remote goat population in the stuff that we do. And it's been really wildly successful and so fun to build community with some of you folks from afar and seeing you on the screen. We won't have regular every week Zooms, but we'll have them a couple times a month through the summer to try to challenge each other and support each other in getting some stitches in on some projects that we want to get done, and maybe we put it down for a while, like the sock I'm knitting right now, which is my second sock. I started this pair of socks during Socktober, and I put down the second sock, but it was like I gave myself a little gift because I'd already turned the heel. So I picked it up and I was like, oh, this is going to be a nice low-hanging fruit for the finish along. I'll get this squared away and I'll feel accomplished. So I thought it might be fun for us to go around and introduce ourselves and maybe talk about the project we're working on tonight for the finish along. And, you know, if some of you use the project planner, great, but, you know, let's just keep it focused and light and we can admire each other's works in progress a little bit here. So I'm gonna call on, because you know sometimes in Zoom it's so awkward. Let's see, I'm gonna call on Jill. Can you introduce yourself? Maybe say your name, your place, and your project right now.
Okay, I'm Jill Schoff. I live in Castine, Maine, and I'm working on something that has been languishing for a couple of years, but that I'd like to finish. I had a picture. This is what it's going to be when it grows up.
Oh,
wow. And it's a design by a Danish designer, Crystal Seafarth. And I'm down to, this is the main body. It's staked all over the place. It's an absolutely ridiculous construction. Look at this. See this?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. The lining for the front after it's staked.
You're so brave.
So when I finish this, I'm working on the sleeves right now. When I finish the sleeves, I'll tackle how the collar works. I may have to design a new one. It's not a pattern that's easy to follow. And if you follow it, it's not a good result. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get it done as a result of your finish along. Thank you for starting this. This is really inspirational.
Well, I mean, wow, that is some serious bravery, and it's beautiful. And I think, wow, I just kudos to you for embarking on that project, Jill. It's beautiful work.
One thing I got out of it that was really cool was she has before you could even start knitting, you have to set up the balls of yarn. And what you do is you have all these colors. And you have all the blues and all the reds. And so you take all the blues and greens and you take maybe 5 yards, maybe 10 yards randomly and join them together and make a ball. And then you knit and you get this sequence of colors. Whoops, it goes that way, just magically. And so that's half the fun of knitting, is just seeing these colors happen. And it's kind of an interesting idea, but it sure takes a lot of balls of yarn to do it. Anyway,
it's really kind of like make your own gradient yarn.
Exactly. And I decided to just go with her suggestion of making it very random, and that worked out okay. I was surprised. I would do that again.
Amazing.
What are the others working on?
Yeah, so let's see, Julie, would you introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm Julie Hunter, and I am living in Newcastle, Washington, although I am from Rockport, Maine, and I'm working on a version of the Anker for a child.
Oh, yeah. So cute.
Because last year the shop that I frequent out here did an Anker knit along, and I got interrupted because I had to travel back to Maine and didn't finish. And I picked it up once for knitting group, hence the sleeve, but it hasn't held me. So I'm hoping that more company will help me get down through those sleeves, because otherwise it's done.
Mhm. Great.
Beautiful.
That's
I love the colors.
beautiful.
Thank
Mhm.
you. That's
Yeah, what's your
what was-
yarn?
Yeah. It's actually a ball of, or several balls of Plymouth Gina that I had kicking around.
Hmm.
So
Nice.
it's a slightly warmer and heavier sweater than some of the versions of this one are, but I'm hoping that maybe the little girl across the street will be the right size for it when it's finished.
Could you hold it up so we could see it again?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Oh,
really nice.
beautiful.
Absolutely adorable.
It's a combination of the way the yarn was laid out for gradation, but also I manipulated to make sure that I got the definite stripes to go with the layers of the stitches.
Clever lady. Very nice.
And is there a little bit of a halo to that fiber? It looked, when you held it up, I was wondering.
Yes, there is. It's a yarn I love to knit with. Unfortunately, after I had bought a fair amount of it, I started wearing a sweater that I made myself out of it and realized that it pills horribly.
Mm.
Ooh.
So, it'll be fine for a little kid and how fast they grow through things. And otherwise, I'm probably going to keep exploring other fibers.
Okay,
Once-
well, so
once she
great
grows
to
through, sorry, once she grows
So-
through, put it on her teddy bear.
Oh, that's a thought. I like that thought. Thank you.
Awesome. Wonderful. Let's see. Who else do we got on the top row of my screen, my Hollywood squares? How about Wendy? How are you doing, Wendy?
I'm doing well. I watched your podcast today with all the projects, and I loved Kirsten's projects. They're all so beautiful. I was like, oh, is inspired. So I'm working on so many things, a second Anker, a second shift, hats, sweaters, but then I got into this knit along that's a gnome little knit along
Oh my gosh.
where you get mystery clues, and it's just funny.
Cute.
Oh, I love it.
That
So
looks like
you
a
get
free-
mystery clues we're on clue 7 and there's one more, so I have to finish it by Monday, but just starting the body. So anyway, I got distracted from my other projects, but I just printed your guide for the project, so I'm going to try and track them. I was truly inspired by Kirsten today.
Oh, good. That's
yes.
so great. Can you hold up
And-
your gnome one more time so we could admire him again, or her? Oh,
And that you
oh
pull,
my
and
gosh.
it goes down, and then there's a little satchel. I don't know what it is, if it's his nose, his satchel, what, but you don't really know what they are until you start them.
That's
And someone
great.
was so inspired, they made a child's hat out of this already.
That's awesome.
We have a Norwegian descent woman down at our yarn store, and I think she's made 30 of these, but they're usually all mystery knit alongs, so you never know. Anyway, it's fun, but
That's
distracting.
awesome. Yeah, I know. We're easily distracted, knitters are, and imagine working in the yarn store. It's
Yes.
pretty
Oh,
hard.
goodness.
Mary Ellen Mulbert, I think you have a hand up.
No, it's Mortola, but
Oh, Mortola.
I did a gnome knit along at Christmas time, and it was through the month of December, and it was so much fun because you'd get these emails and you'd make, different parts of the gnome. He had like a little messenger bag and a scarf and a hat, and it was great. It was great fun.
Yeah.
We just got a really, really, really cute new book that's called Moosh and Friends. And it's a book of knitted, stuffy animals, and they are darling. There's, and it's the details on these. Of course, you're using like a size 0 needle, which is just ridiculous, but You know, and there's one of my favorites is the duck, and I can't remember her name, but she comes with a really beautiful little stripe. Like her dress is a vertical stripe, but you're knitting it, yeah, you're knitting it back and forth. And then her little wings come out the holes, and she's so adorable. And one of them has like a little messenger bag with an envelope in it. I mean, I could just really lose myself in this book. I think I might be highlighting it in an upcoming email or a Facebook video, so watch for that. But yeah, little things are so fun to knit. We had a lady who was in the shop who had knit some gnomes, and on this mission she was looking for yarn for a frog and toad that she was going to knit, but her gnomes were so sweet, and she started to show me photos of the gnome, one of her gnomes. He was like off by the side of her burn pile. You know, she was clearly like burning brush earlier this spring, and the gnome was like seated on a log, like watching the fire. And then she said that her daughter, who's a grown adult, loved the gnome so much that she took the gnome with her. She went to a concert. It was like a rock concert. The gnome came and watched, and she took a picture of the gnome and sent it to her mom. Like, so darn cute, right? Yeah.
The
really
traveling
sweet.
gnome.
The traveling gnome, I know. Let's see, who else do I have? Well, Mary Ellen Mortola, do you want to just introduce yourself, because you're already kind of up there with us?
Sure, sure. So I live in Salt Lake City, and I'm very embarrassed to say I'm still finishing the Anker sweater top, but I am on the bottom ribbing, and I've got like 3 more rows of ribbing. I had run out of yarn, so I had to go online and try to find somebody somewhere who had this yarn, and I was very fortunate because it is matching quite well. So I'm back knitting again and just have a few more rows. And later on this evening, the Salt Lake Knitting Guild is meeting. So I'm hoping that it's very close to done, or I'll just finish it there.
Would you hold it up again for us and remind us? I believe I remember it might be the Great Adirondack yarn.
It is the
company.
Great Adirondack yarn.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Oh, yeah.
But it's really fun, and it's so nice and soft. And I got some more yarn from your store, and I think I'll make a size smaller, and then maybe I won't run out of yarn for that one.
Great. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really fun. I'm so proud of it, because I've tried to make garments before, and they just don't work. And this one I've tried on a number of times. I'm like, I can think this is gonna work, so I'll wear this one. So that's wonderful.
So good to hear. Yay. Let's see. Can we hear next from Bev? How are you doing, Bev?
Well, I've started my spring cleaning, and I'm about 15 years late. And so every time I lose something, I find some more beautiful yarn. So I think I've printed off about 30 of your sheets now. So that I can track them all. And I'd like to get my shift done, because I want to be able to wear it this fall. So and I don't have it right now to show you. It's somewhere where it doesn't get buried in the avalanche here. So yeah, I'm doing fine, doing great. So
good to hear. And I love that you're.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
The sweater that Jill's working on, please don't do that for the next knit along.
No, I don't think that would be let's say an accessible pattern for most folks.
Jill, I admire the heck out of you. You're just wonderful. You all are, for that matter. But
okay, Bev, I have something to ask you. For next time we have a Zoom, would you bring would you bring your shift to do a little show and tell for us?
but I hate it when you twist my arm. Sure.
Because we just want to encourage you. That's all. We just want to
And I-
ooh and ah over your yarns, and we want to encourage you.
Oh, and that's why I'm here tonight. I have town meeting tonight too, so, but that's a little later. But,
Yep.
okay, chipped it is.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. So who is up next on my screen? How about Beth? Hi, Beth.
Hi. Well, I did download the sheets and I have 4, and then I thought of a 5th thing to put on there. But so I have 4. I have like multiple things that I've started. So what I have tonight are, let me see, where's my, there it is. Socks, shorty socks. So I just started them actually last weekend. I went to a baseball game on Worldwide Knit in Public Day, and I wanted to have something
Yay.
tiny. Yeah, so I wanted to have something tiny to work on at the game. So hopefully these will go pretty quickly because they're shorties. And then I have, hopefully I'm saying it right, a ranunculus sweater that I started. That
Awesome.
I think that'll be pretty easy to finish because I'm almost to the bottom band, and then I just have to do the sleeves. And then a top for my daughter, but it's sort of it's a summer, one of those summer crop tops. But I needed to make sure before I went any further to get a measurement. She lives in Chicago, so when I was there a couple weeks ago, I had her try it on so I can finish that up. And then I have one. So I made this tank top last summer and wore it and I liked it, but I don't like the ribbed band at the bottom. I think I just want it to be more like a, sort of an A-line, but it was a bottom up. And so ripping out, if anybody has a secret to how to rip out a ribbing band on a bottom up, because it's not like, it's not going in the way, like when you usually rip out, and if it's going in the way that you knitted it, it just comes out. And this I'm picking. So I don't know if anybody has good advice about how to, so like I'm trying to rip out, this is the bottom of it, trying to rip out the ribbing. And then I want to just knit it so that it just continues. Like maybe I just do a bind off in stockinette, so it'll just sort of hang loose. But it's taking forever to rip it out. So I don't know if anybody has a secret to that.
Let's open up to the wisdom of the group. Anybody have any tips for Beth on tearing out from the bottom up, besides for picking it out one at a time?
I would put in a lifeline before you start in a contrasting color. And just you run it through the row above where you want it to go.
Yeah. That's probably good. That's a good idea. So
that way, I mean, I've done this, and that way, if you go down a couple of rows, you can even cut it and it will.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I've thought about cutting, and maybe that might be, last time I did something similar to this, where I made it again for something for my daughter, and she wanted it to be a little bit longer, and I was trying to pick out the ribbing, and it was a nightmare. And I did that. I cut it, and then I just picked up the stitches then and just added the yarn on, and so that may be what I end up with, because it's taking me forever to do it.
But do yourself a favor and put in the lifeline, even though it takes.
Yeah, I don't always do that, and I think that's a good idea, just because I've experienced like then spending like another hour like going back and trying to line up all the stitches.
Great thought. That's what I would have thought too.
Take off. How much does she have to take off?
I can't remember. Let me see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have maybe 6 rows more of the ribbing to come off.
And then?
And then I get to the stockinette, and that's where I just want to continue stockinette down. I guess I'm finding on some sweaters, I don't always like the ribbing and where it sits. And so after I had done this, then the pattern maker had other versions, and some of them where she just did like sort of a rolled like hem. Because it's just a tank and it's a casual top. And I actually, you know, if I had thought about it ahead of time, that's probably what I would have chose from the beginning. But the more tops I'm doing, the more I'm realizing like, what do I like on different parts of it? And I definitely prefer to do a top down, because it's just so much easier, like to fit it all the way through than if doing a bottom up.
And I think a lot of us, I know that especially with the Anker, we were having a lot of conversations with folks about that very issue of like, where do you want it to fall on your body? You know, and some conversations about like, well, if you're a shorter waisted person, or you have a little bit more, what I like to consider like the built-in cushion that you can sit on, that, you know, you may not want to knit it to the length specified if it's going to hit your nice cushion in a place that's going to feel too tight. Or, and so I think there is a lot of wisdom, especially in the top down, because then you're trying it on and you're, but you know, often with the bottom up, once you sort of know what is that dimension for your body, you can, even with a bottom up construction, if you have that dimension in your mind, you can look at the pattern schematic and adapt it for your own shape. Okay, well, let's see. Up next, how about Pat? Can you introduce yourself to us?
Okay, I am Pat Holloway, and I am in Hagerstown, Maryland. And I made a pledge, besides trying to finish up some projects, to use leftover balls of yarn, because I have maybe 3 baskets full of varying sizes, but a lot of it is sock yarn. So since I saw you all last, I've made 1 pair of socks where I used all the sock yarn, and then I made another pair. Actually, out of this leftover ball of yarn, I got 2 pair, because the little shorty socks that I can wear in the summer. So, and then I decided that I really wanted another shift. I admired everybody's shifts that had the white in the background. So I went into my stash and found 4 different colors.
Wow.
Plus the white. And I'm working my way through it. So I'm halfway through section 5, so I'll be starting, you know, the other side. Anyway, so I'm working on that so I can wear that in summer, or not that we're going to need it in summer, but winter. And then in my basket, I have 4 projects. I have a problem when I make I have a cardigan upstairs, you know, where you have to add on, after you knit, you have to add on that binding that comes down the front that becomes the lapels. I have a problem with them not fitting correctly. So I put aside a project that I got 6 years ago with Noro yarn. That's a if I can find the real quick. It doesn't show a picture. Well, yeah, it does too. Isn't it? It's supposed to be a little vest. So I've got the back done. The back is finished. It has a cable that runs up through it.
Oh my word.
And I've got most of the right front done. So I just need to finish. But when I got bored, I guess, or went on to something else. So that'll be my next project after the shift. Then I have I wanted to learn how to do, what do you call it? Hang on.
Ooh.
goodness.
Beautiful.
This
Like
is from,
Fair Isle?
yeah, like Fair Isle, but they call it something else too. Anyway, it's, you know, where you're working with two. That's what I did on that one little sock. I was working with holding a yarn in one hand and a yarn in another, because I
Mhm.
knit English style. And trying to figure out how to hold yarn in my left hand while I'm doing something else. So anyway, I started and I did this glove probably 2-3 years ago and said, boy,
Wow.
that was enough. So I need to finish the other glove. And
Wow.
this is from Mountain Meadow Wool. I think you had them on as one of your shows. So, and that it also has a hat. So I had ordered the hat. So I've got to find some time to get that finished. And then just a
That's
couple.
beautiful.
So I have a summer full.
That is great, Pat. And I love that you're kind of shopping down your stash a little
Yes.
bit. And
Committed.
yep, and your shift is so pretty. I adore those colors. Feel so sort of springy but would really look nice in the winter to be a little pop of color.
Yes,
Um,
they kind of the colors that I wear. So I'm looking forward to being able to throw that over the top. I like accessories.
Great. Let's see. Up next, how about Judy? How are you, Judy?
Oh, I'm just fine. I have to admit, I'm still finishing up my cardigan. I've had a lot
Yeah.
going on. And I'm on the second sleeve. And it's gone well. I've made a few changes and for my preferences. And so I'm going to get this done. I have another cardigan that I almost finished. And then I'm going to go on to a scarf by somebody mentioned Crystal Sacred. Okay, and I'm doing her spring. It's like with tulips scarf, which I'm really looking
Wow.
forward to. And I picked that up, or I saw it in Amsterdam. I had gone at the beginning of September to beginning of April to Amsterdam for a week. And I saw it in the window, but unfortunately I was leaving the next day early and they were already closed. So I contacted and got it from Crystal Sacred directly. And unfortunately I had to pay for the excessive shipping, but you know, when you want something, you pay for it.
Right.
Indeed.
So,
Will you hold up your sweater for us?
oh yeah. See.
Oh, lovely.
Nice.
Very pretty.
I got all my little markers in my first sleeve, so I get all my increases exactly the same
Great.
place. And I must say, I tried using the larger circular needle, and I forgot what that's called. Then I didn't like that, so I went to double pointed, and finally I bought myself a 9-inch needle. And that was
Yep.
much easier to do it that way. I would never
There's little short
little
needle.
shorties, yeah. That was the
Yep.
way to go, without any question. But,
Great.
so I've got lots of projects. I just have to find the time to do them.
Good. Thank you
Okay.
for sharing. I'm excited to see the scarf that you're going to be knitting too.
I'm in the process of trying to downsize. Okay, and I've packed a lot of things away, and I've lived in this house for 35 years. And my husband and I have been married 56 years. So we have way too much stuff, you know. And when we bought our house, we really liked the neighborhood, but it was a little bit too big for us. And we have too many storage places, if you get my drift. Okay, so we're going to go to a condominium, a 2-bedroom condominium. And hopefully, the plan is to leave Nashville and to go to Boston. We like the Northeast much better, we've decided.
Okay.
And, so I'll be much more conveniently located.
That's wonderful. Well, we'll look forward to your visit. Thanks, Judy. So
Okay.
let's see, next up is, how about Mary Ellen Mulhern? How are you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm Mary Ellen from Media, Pennsylvania, outside of Philadelphia. And I pulled out this sweater that is a couple years old. It's taking up way too much inventory, and it needs to go. I need to finish it or give it to someone. And I just have like bad karma with it. I feel like it doesn't fit like I want it to fit, but it's the way it's supposed to fit. I like things looser. So I just decided this is the thing I need to finish. And the button band just wasn't right. So I took it out. That's what I've done. I took it out, I got it back on, and now I'm finishing it up. And it's either, I'm either going to wear it or it's going to someone, it'll fit someone. And
Hold it up for us so we can look.
all right, it is on the needles, so it's a, I don't know.
Pockets and
With the
everything.
pocket.
It has pockets and it's a V-neck.
Wow, girl.
Ooh,
Ooh.
So we'll see.
Can you
I'm
talk
asking-
about the neck that you ripped out? Like, why did you rip it out? What was going on
It was
there?
at the bottom. It was this was like a Zoom thing during the pandemic, and she told us we had to put in 2 stitches for every one at the rib, which it just it wasn't right. I mean, it just went boom. It was
Yeah.
awful.
That was my
So,
trouble.
Mm.
Yeah. So
It looks like it's stretched out. It's
yeah.
not, doesn't lay flat. There's too many
Right.
stitches. So we
Right.
do less stitches, but I don't know how that works.
So I just did it 1 stitch in each one where the rib was, or every other one, I think. I forget what I did, really. And I guess it wasn't in the pattern.
Does
It's
it
called
lay
the,
flat now?
yeah, it does.
Oh, golly, nice.
It's called the
Can I
Memories.
just, sorry, go ahead.
It's called the Memories cardigan, and it's just a garter stitch is the button band. It's not a rib. I'm used to doing a rib. So anyway, I don't know. Do other people get things with bad karma? That's how I feel.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
We all
yes,
have one or two.
definitely. And I would just also, I made a note to myself. So, do y'all know that when I post this up to YouTube, if I add links or something, you can look at the description in YouTube and see some of the links. Sometimes if we talk about things, I'll pop a link in there. So if you're on, like, looking at the video, usually there's like a more, and you click on it, depending on if you're looking on your TV or whatever. And so it's Patty Lyons has the book of, Patty Lyons' Knitting Bag of Tips and Tricks or something. I'm not getting the title right. So there's definitely information in there about button bands for sure. But I also believe that I found a video of her speaking about a button band at one point. So I thought I would look for that video and I'll post a link to the book if anybody wants that, but also to it, because I'm pretty sure I watched a video where she was talking about it. I really think she's pretty awesome, and she usually has great things to say. So I will add that to our resources for sure.
That would be helpful. I am working on my
Thank you
second
very much.
Ramona, not Ramona, it's Anker.
Your anchors, yeah,
Yeah.
in the beautiful color.
And I like doing that. So I
This
go
is
from
nice color.
one to the other.
Yep.
Yeah. So this will probably be, should be finished by the next time so we'll see. And unless I don't like the button band, then I'll take it out again. And
Why don't you just put a ribbed one on? If you're used to it and you like
I
rib,
know.
why not just do the rib?
I
mean,
I could do that. It's a good idea.
thank you. I had an idea.
Patterns are meant to be not followed.
That's my problem.
Yeah, you
I'm
can't have the-
terribly
yeah.
traditional and tend to like want to do what they tell you to do,
Yeah,
but
I'm just.
not if it comes out like this.
Well, that's some good encouragement though. You know, sometimes we do have to use our better judgment too. But it's hard because you want to do the instructions, right?
Right. Yeah.
Unless they just don't really work for you, and then you might have to go off on your own rails. All right, well, let's see. How about Diane? Diane, hi. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So this is my first time joining in. Jill introduced me to the Zoom and said how much fun she'd been having with you. And I used to live in Castine, but now I'm in Louisiana, just across the lake from New Orleans.
Okay.
So my project is much more boring than everyone else's, but I'm trying to finish it anyway. It's called the Lamb sweater, Lamm, and it's a funnel neck, top down. So the body is finished and just trying to work the sleeves.
That
So
is
if I get the
beautiful.
sleeves done, then it will be finished and hopefully finished by winter.
Nice. That's such a beautiful pattern.
Thanks. It's nice. It's plain, but it's made from merino boucle. So that's a little crazy to work with because you never know where your needle's going. It's kind of like it doesn't really split, but if you've worked with boucle, then you just know. So I've had my boucle experience.
Knitting with a poodle.
And that'll be it. But it's super soft and I think it'll be very comfy in the winter.
Great. That's wonderful. Well, welcome. We're so glad to have you with us.
Thank you. Thanks. Glad to be here.
And you're getting our emails about the finish along?
So I actually, Jill forwarded it to me.
Oh,
so
good. Okay.
We'll go make sure I get on your list.
Yeah, if you there's the signups on our event page too.
Yeah, I get your regular emails.
Okay.
So I thought I would get it, but I'm not sure that I got the knit along one.
It's like a little separate group so that we don't,
Okay.
you know, I won't send out as many emails as I do when we have a knit along, but you know, just little reminders here and there, maybe showcasing some of the projects that we're seeing. Actually, I should take a screenshot of our group here. Are we ready for a Zoom picture? You can hold up a project, you can smile, whatever you want. Okay, ready? Perfect. Okay, awesome. Did that. And let's see. Okay, so we're getting down there. It looks like we've got Rosie back with us. Hi, Rosie. Oh, are you there, Rosie?
What happened?
Maybe Rosie. I don't know. Rosie, are you a little frozen maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to Rosie maybe. Let's try Teresa. How are you doing?
Hey there. I'm just going to try to disentangle myself from my project real quick.
Okay.
So today I am working on this colorwork sweater.
Oh my goodness,
Making
that's what I
progress.
was trying to think of before, color work.
Yeah, making
Beautiful.
progress. I just started this first sleeve yesterday. It's my first stranded colorwork project, and I've been learning a whole lot, including that it is a pain in the butt, and I'm ready to be done. It's actually my only work in progress right now, but I have a huge bag of yarn that I've already bought for some planned projects, so I'm making myself finish this first, and then I'm excited to get onto some other projects that I've got planned. And then the other thing I want to make sure I do this summer is, for a while, and by that I mean up until the end of last year, I had a bad habit of, instead of blocking things, I would just throw it into a bin and promise myself that I would do it later. So by the end of the summer, I want to actually block up all those things and have, instead of having them just sit in a bin in my office.
Oh, good for
Nice.
you.
I love that. I'm writing down Teresa's blocking goal. Excellent. We will make sure to check back in with you about that. But that's
Please.
incredible color work. Will you tell us what is the project that is next in your queue that you're like dreaming about while you're slogging your way through your color work sweater?
I don't know which I'm gonna do next. I created a couple of these like honeycomb pattern hats over winter, and I got some more yarn to make a scarf and some mittens. So maybe I'll work on one of those next.
Wonderful. Yay. Nice to have you back with us.
honeycomb hats to show us?
Sorry?
Do you have one of the honeycomb hats to show us?
No, I'm at my parents' house. I don't have any
Oh,
of my
okay.
other knitting stuff.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so I've got Eileen. How are you, Eileen?
Yeah. I'm just knitting away here. I'm working on the
Working
sweater
on.
that I put aside to do the anchors. I'm a compulsive knitter in that I have to finish it, even if I'm not going to use it. So that it gives me the incentive to get to the new one that I want to do. So this I have to go back to, that I put away. It's a kind of a wintry, but I did a color on the top, and the top has a, I don't know, a slip stitch. Can you see?
Oh,
Yeah. So it, when you do all the boring parts, so I'm just about to start the slip stitch on the front piece. This is the back is done. So gets me.
I like that texture. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's just a thing I saw in a magazine and I liked it. And so I have to finish it before I can start anything else.
You are, get my kudos. You're a very principled woman.
It's called psychological approach. My reward for finishing this will be the next project, which I haven't decided on.
Well, so let's see. I think we've got Rosie. Are you back?
Yes, technical difficulties. Sorry, everybody.
No
Hi.
problem. Welcome back. Nice to see you.
Same here, same here. So I've been listening to the dates of anybody who had presented so far, and along with the fact that I have to give lots of kudos to the projects and the beauty of what's there, I do think I get the prize for tonight, at least, for the longest whips that have been waiting to be finished. So I'm going to show you what it's supposed to look like. It's from an old Interweave. It's a Nicki Epstein pattern. The magazine came out 2004. I think I started knitting this 2005.
You do get the prize.
It was my very first intarsia type of product. And as you can see, it was something that has stayed on the needles many, many years. So thank you for doing this finish along, because I'm finally going to finish it.
Yay. Oh my gosh, Rosie, it's so beautiful.
Well,
and I see you're wearing your shift.
I am. Did I show you what I did to the back of it?
I don't know if you did.
Because I think it didn't get finished by the last one. So because of the fact, I don't know if everybody can see, I had put buttons.
Oh,
So
nice.
Because I want to be able to, like right now, I have two of the buttons open at the bottom and adjust it. And I have to say, I really, really like that modification. And the color just came out beautiful. So yes, enjoying that a lot. So thank you for doing this.
Yay. We thought that it would be really fun to, especially because, you know, in the summer, I think it's hard just maybe it's, you know, to stay focused, you know, there's so much to do. And especially in Maine, where everybody gets a little manic when there's good weather and we've got people come and visit all the time. So it just seemed like it would be kind of hard to have that regular group that we get with the knit along. And then it came up at one of our in-person, well, what about finishing some of the projects we know we've got languishing in the dark corners? And so anyway, I think it's fun, it's motivational, and it gives us all a little bit of accountability in a very low key way. But yeah. And so I think our last person tonight is Ofeni is here. Welcome, Ofeni. Nice to have you back. I don't know if you want to hop on.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, we're good. Where are you at right now?
In New Jersey.
Okay. And are you getting up with what are you knitting on these days?
I'm knitting on a new shawl by Lisa K. Ross.
Okay.
And I don't have it to show. Lisa K. Ross.
Yep.
She just came out with it today.
Wow.
And it's called Beach Nights.
Beach Nights.
And right now it's 50% off.
Oh.
And this is how far I got.
Oh, look at that. Oh, let me spotlight you. Hang on. Keep it up there. Okay.
Oh, pretty.
Really pretty.
Oh, sweet.
And then you start adding in little colors. It's a stitch she have you to make.
Yeah.
And it just came out today. And then plus this is her other pattern that I'm gonna do later.
Okay. Wow, that's so pretty. What is the yarn you're using right now?
Emma's yarn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What's the fiber like in that?
Oh man, it's like butter. Emma's yarn is so soft.
Is it got a wool base or something else?
Nylon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's fabulous. So you're like a
cashmere.
Okay.
Yeah. This one merino nylon.
Ooh,
Emma's
nice.
yarn.
Okay, cool. I love it. And is that like a sport weight or what weight?
No,
is that
it's
yarn?
a fingering.
It's a fingering. Yep. Awesome. And so you seem like you fly through your knitting projects. Do you have a lot of projects?
Oh no, I don't. I be ripping out. Okay. I be I just went through a phase back here in this truck. I just done had a rip party by myself. Now I'm starting stuff new. I guess because the summer. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that you're going to join us here for this finish along again.
Maybe it'll motivate me. Yeah.
That's what we're hoping, because like I think if you guys saw the podcast where Kristen and I were unpacking our project bags, it's a lot of projects, and you know, somebody that came into the shop and was in person with us last weekend said they brought a project that, and I think we can all relate to this, but it's so silly to even say. She said she was feeling really silly, but she said she put it aside because she was worried she was going to run out of yarn, and it just gave her too much anxiety.
Yes.
So why bother finish? Let's just put it away.
I know. She's like, no, I just can't. So she brought that. She thinks she's going to make a little modification or something. I can't remember, but we just laughed. I mean, I could see that. Or the other thing sometimes I do is when I'm worried I'm going to run out of yarn, I knit faster. I mean, I know it's ridiculous.
Maybe you can outrun it.
Outrun it, you know, I can win if I just go faster, you know, it won't disappear. So silly.
I've had to,
well, yeah, go ahead.
I said I had to undo a swatch one time to finish my project. Last little bit of yarn.
Been there.
So I have like two what I consider my active projects that are like I knit on them pretty much daily. One is the sweater for my husband that I've talked about, and It's just slow. And so I try to get a couple of rows in every day on that. And then I have like a fun project that's the Love is Love wrap that maybe you've seen on our social media. And then I have these older projects that are my finish along focus. So I'm really keeping myself strictly to like finish along times and really bringing some of these back. So I've got my sock, but then sometimes if I am knitting too much on small needles, and those are size 1s, I need to give my hands a break. So the other one, and this was on the podcast, is this really, it's on a too short of a needle, so you can't really get the sense of it, but it is a kind of cardigan that will just have a snap, and it's garter at the top, raglan top down, and then it has this fisherman's rib, really squishy here at the bottom, and it will have these really squishy puffy sleeves. And I am pretty sure I have enough yarn. This was like giveaway yarn that somebody had for me, and I don't know if I have a picture of the pattern for this, but it's a really interesting pattern called the gray sheath jacket, I think, and I will see, but I love the colorway. It's Mecha by Malabrigo. Yeah, so I'm excited because I think I'll actually wear that. Cool.
That's cute. Is it a crop top like thing? Is it short?
It's not. I'm just, it's not too, I don't want it that short, so I wish I had the pattern. Let me just make sure. Oh no, I really don't have it. No, it
kind of ends at your belt line or something.
Yeah, that's what I think. And it just, the original really is pretty, like the sleeves puff out a lot, and I don't know if my yarn is going to do that same thing, but we'll see. Yeah,
well, it's adorable.
I like
Can't
it.
wait to see it.
I think it's gonna be squishy, yes, and I really want to have this completed, and I think I can. It's just that the fisherman's rib is a slow stitch, so we'll see.
I haven't tried that. Have to try that. We'll get those socks finished.
I know, I'm getting there. Yep, making some headway, and I'm trying the short little sock needles. I think it was Ronnie that spoke to us about that at a knit along before, that she really loves the little shorties, and I'd never tried them, and so this is my first time trying them, and I really like it.
They're very nice.
Are they too tight though? I've always
the shorties.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I have a hard time with shorties. I like my double pointed needles.
I do too, but I always think I should try them.
I have a hard time moving the yarn along.
Yeah,
it's with the Chow Goose, it just moves itself because it's so
tiny.
The cable's so easy and tiny. I did have a question, speaking of shorties socks, because I know a couple of you are knitting the shorty socks. Do you have a pattern that you like for those shorty socks? Either Pat or was it Beth who also was knitting them?
You know, you can take any pattern and make it a shorty sock. Just do a cuff and go right into the heel, and then put the pattern as soon as you finish the heel down the front.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
And I'm using a pattern. Summer Lee does a lot of funky socks patterns, and she just came out with a new one called Folk Flowers, I think it is, or folk. Yeah, I think it's Folk Flower. And in the pattern, it has, you know, both the longer sock and the shorty sock. But I had a bunch of minis, so I thought, well, the minis are like the shorty sock will use up the minis.
Kate Davis has this pattern, which she calls poozles, and it really stops right here. And she intends them to be like slippers, but I don't like shorty socks, so I added the rest of it on just this week as my finish up dry. But this is a really intriguing pattern she's got. You start at the toe.
Wow.
Work your way up, and the heel and the toe have this very cool flower, which I would definitely do another sock, even a plain one, just for fun. So anyway, they're very fun to knit.
Did you say foozles?
She calls them poozles.
Okay.
She claims it's a Gaelic word. Maybe it is. I don't know. But she has fun with them, and she just publishes this pattern, and it's really cool. And it's
Do you have a name of the pattern?
I think it's called Poozle, but why don't I check and email you?
Okay, sure.
Is
Thank
this, you say that was your daughter?
No, Kate Davis is
Oh,
a
okay.
Scottish designer who
Yeah.
does mostly color work stuff.
Yeah,
And she has fun designs. They're fun to look at.
I like her picture.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they're fun too. But anyway, I just wanted to show you those, and that you
Thank
can
you.
take any sock that's short into a long one. But it's a funny heel because it's done from the bottom up.
Mhm.
But it's
Interesting.
Can I say that color work is amazing on those socks?
Mhm.
it was fun to do. And unfortunately, I went crazy the day I ordered the kit of yarn for these, and also ordered a kit of yarn for a colorwork sweater that I am resisting starting once I lets it take over the whole summer.
You're amazing. That's all I can say is you're amazing.
Oh no.
You do the
Yeah.
color work on
When I
four
grow up,
needles
I want
or
to be
those
like you.
shorties?
I'm sorry?
When I grow up, I want to be knit like you.
I
No, just knit a lot. That's all I do. I'm not a fast knitter and I'm not a great knitter, but I knit a lot.
She's
Did you
wrong.
do
She's
the-
a fast knitter and she's a great knitter.
I'll bet she is.
agree.
Yes.
Oh, I just knit a lot.
I'm totally inspired.
Someone asked if I did it on 4 needles.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
know if you did it on,
I always do magic loop. I love magic loop.
oh,
Me
and you
too.
can do the color work on the magic loop?
Oh,
Mhm.
sure.
Wow.
Hmm.
It looks like Rosie might have a question.
Yes, so for my, the bag, it needs to be felted. And the yarn I'm using is Lamb's Pride, which I know is really good for that. The
Mhm.
question I have for you ladies, it is it's a fairly large amount. How do you recommend, I felted a few things, but nothing this big. What would anybody recommend to get a good felt on it? For the shrinkage and the evenness and all of that. So what would anybody recommend?
Just from my mistake with my beautiful shawls, throw them in the washing machine and let her go.
I
If
know
it's
that
an agitator, find an agitator machine.
Yeah.
And
as
yeah, like a
opposed to
top
the
loading.
round.
A
You mean,
top loading
wait,
is
one of
I
the a top loading washing machine?
Yeah,
yeah.
I gotta find that.
yeah. Sometimes you
Well,
have to go to a laundromat.
They
Yeah,
all
top
are
loading.
loading now.
I,
I
Yeah.
mhm.
seen a
I
top
wish,
loading aisle.
I wish you were near me. I still have one.
I do
Oh.
too.
I do
I'm
too.
in start.
Ruined two of my shawls.
Well,
I-
okay, so I will also say that I think that if you, it's not as ideal, but if you have a front loader, and one thing that I remember with both felting projects that I made that were slightly larger is you want to throw in something like a pair of jeans or two, something that's, or towels, something that will be heavy and kind of like bang around on it to help with the agitation. I even remember, this was years ago, somebody saying, yeah, I always just like throw in an old pair of tennis shoes. And I'm like,
Yeah, that's
ew, no.
Hey,
I was
mean,
wondering if you could get away with tennis balls.
to keep
Tennis
them
balls, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So even if it's a front loader, put those in, and then when it's in the, am I drying it too in the dryer or no?
I wouldn't do that. I mean, so the other thing about the wash is you want as hot water as you can get it. And I would also tend to want to make sure that even if you're only felting the one thing and you've got maybe one pair of jeans or a couple tennis balls or whatever, that you're making sure that it's a really full water load. So you've got plenty of water in there, swishing it around,
Yeah, so-
and like a heavy cycle.
Right, so a heavy cycle, a few things to create the agitation, but not a full
Mhm.
load. Okay, and
Not
very
a full load of wash, but yeah, the hot water, the soap, and I mean, is it Lamb's Pride?
Sam's Pride.
So great for felting. I mean, it really wants to felt. Mhm.
I'm excited. I'm finally able to wear it for the fall because it's so pretty.
Yay.
But it's been
So
sitting
pretty.
forever.
Well, this fastest hour of the week has gone by fast as usual, and it's a little after 6, and I want to honor everybody's time today. I'm actually in the goat because I'm helping out in the store a little bit on a night that I'm not usually here. So anyway, it's been awesome to have everybody, and I hope that we'll see each other again.
2 weeks.
Now I'm spacing 2 weeks from now. Yes.
Yes.
Yep. So good luck, everybody. Stay strong with your finishing, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Happy knitting.
Joy.
Happy knitting.
Happy knitting.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.